Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is The Organized Money, where we talk about planning life and managing money. Today's video is going to be on my sinking funds. If you have been around this channel for any amount of times, then you know that I have consistently struggled with saving for sinking funds, with feeling like I have not had enough money in order to set aside for sinking funds. But I think I have finally settled into a system that really does work for my family, and so I wanted to share it with you guys today. I did pull out a sheet of paper. This is from the Tool Notebook collection. It fits perfectly in the budget planner that I created because the budget planner is like an 8.5 by 11, and so is the Tool Notebook. So if you want, I will link this paper that I did get from Amazon, and if you do have the budget planner that I have that I sell in my shop, then you can definitely use this paper in order to add paper into your budget planner. So the first things first is I'm actually going to pull this sheet out so that I'm just working with this sheet. And I'm going to talk you through what I have decided to do with my sinking funds while I'm actually decorating this page. So I have realized that establishing a baseline for my sinking funds are the best way for me to stay up with them instead of having to try and save for every little thing each check. What do I mean? So my baseline is actually $5,000. That means that I have already saved $5,000 into my sinking funds / emergency fund account before I have started any additional sinking funds. And these sinking funds actually just cover the emergencies that I might have. So I'm going to list them out here and show you what those sinking funds actually cover. What the 5,000 actually covers, and then we'll get into the other type of sinking funds that I have. Okay, so let's talk about my baseline sinking funds. So my baseline sinking funds are my car repairs, my home repairs, and a medical and other category. So the reason why I do this is because when I realize when I'm trying to pull out sinking funds for every single category out of every single check, it never works for me, like never works for me. It always ends up being too much money out of one check, and then I can't keep up with the amounts. So what I decided to do instead was to save one big amount for certain sinking funds that kind of come up out of the blue. So the first category is my car repairs. Car repairs kind of come up out of the blue. I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to need them. For the majority, I do know like when I'm going to have to do an oil change, or something might be going on with the car and I may need to bring it in. On average, I have realized that every time I've brought my car in for something like this, it has been around $700. If I have $700 saved for this expense, then usually I am okay. So that is my car repairs sinking fund. For my car insurance, I pay my car insurance every 6 months. I used to pay it every single month, but I realized I could save on the interest if I pay it every 6 months, and it is $2,300. This amount is for 2 cars, my husband's car and my car, and it is for the coverage of 6 months. We are with Progressive. The other category is home repairs. Once again, usually this kind of comes up out of the blue. We are not 100% sure when it may happen, but if it does happen, it's usually around $500 to $1,000. So I will usually set aside $1,000 to make sure that we have everything that we need for home repairs. And the last category is called medical or other. The medical or other category is basically for if something happens and we need to go to the doctor, we may have a medical emergency. My husband's family does not live in the same city that we live in, so I think the last 3 or 4 times we have used this category, it has been to send him home to check on one of his parents. His mom actually got ill a couple of weeks ago, and we used this money in order to book him a flight and get him back home so that he could see his mom, because that falls under the medical / other category for us. The total of all of these, so the total is $5,000, and this is the baseline of what we have in our sinking fund / emergency fund while we are paying off debt. This kind of helps us out in case anything crazy happens while we're paying off debt, while we're working on other things. This is what I keep in that account. So before I started saving for any other sinking funds, I got to this amount, and now that we have reached this amount sits in the sinking fund account and it does not move. It basically is in our emergency fund account right now, actually, and we just kind of keep it there. It never moves. It just is there if we need it for one of these categories. So now that we have this amount already set aside in our emergency fund / sinking fund account for any of these categories, my other sinking funds, which are like trips and birthdays and conferences and stuff like that I want to go to, those actually do come out week by week from each check, and I save for them. So the next thing that I'm going to do is set up my sinking funds for the next couple of months. I usually do it in 3-month increments so that I don't overwhelm myself by looking at the entire year. But I do like to try and do it in 3-month increments so I can see how much I need per check to have what I need for whatever is coming up. So the first thing that I have coming up is my anniversary. My husband and I are going to Chicago for our anniversary. It will be our 10th anniversary. So I am going to just kind of jot down the entire prospective budget for the anniversary and then see what the total will be on that for that trip. So for our upcoming anniversary trip, we have already booked our flight, but the flight cost was $415. Hotel is going to be about $500. The food I estimated for $100 per day that we are there, so I have $400 here. And shopping, I'm not a big shopper, but I did want to have something set aside just in case I see something that I like, and it's $250. So the total for the trip is $1,565. The next thing that will be coming up in May of 2020 is our daughter's birthday. She will be 6 on May 6th. So I did want to list out the expenses for her birthday. She is going to be celebrating at Chuck E. Cheese. So I have that party, the decorations, food, and games. So for my daughter's birthday, we are looking at Chuck E. Cheese for $125, decorations at $60, gifts at $100, and the food games at Chuck E. Cheese for $65, which means the total set aside for her birthday will be $350. The next thing that we have coming up is a conference. It's the BYOB conference. It's called the Build Your Own Brand Conference. I do like to go to a couple of conferences throughout the course of the year. This year, I believe I'm going to 3 or 4. 3. I'm going to 3 conferences. And so the first one coming up is BYOB conference in May. It's at the end of May. It's the 22nd through the 24th, and I want to set aside some money for that. So I'm going to write out the expenses here of what I am planning for the BYOB conference. So for BYOB, it is myself and my husband going. I did end up getting a really good deal on the conference tickets because I caught it when they were having a really good sale. So the conference tickets only cost me like $60. Booking 2 flights though is going to be like $9.86 because conference is in Miami. Hotel is going to be $400, and I did $100 a day for food again, and that's $200, so it's $16.46. So these are the 3 major things that are coming up that I need to set aside for sinking funds. This is why, as you can see, looking at these numbers just for the next 3 months or so, this is why I already needed to have this set aside. I couldn't be saving, I can't save for all of these and this at the exact same time because it's too much. So the next thing that I'm going to do is add these up, and the total is $35.61. Okay, so the total for all 3 of these events is $3,561. Had I thought about it before, I probably wouldn't have attended the BYOB conference, but I really do want to go because I really did enjoy myself last year, and it really did benefit my business as far as how I was able to attend the different classes, and I learned so much that I do definitely want to go. So I said I was be willing to sacrifice in order to make this happen. The first thing that I had to do was save up this $5,000 so that I wouldn't have to worry about these expenses if anything comes up. And now we're switching over to these items here. I need these over the next 14 weeks. So we get paid every single week, and in order to have $3,561 over the next 14 weeks, I basically need to save $255 per check. Now, of course, this will still cause a little bit of sacrifice. We will definitely have to cut down on a lot of shopping and a lot of different other things that we may do. Maybe our restaurant budget we'll probably have to cut down on for the next couple of months. But in order to attend these events, I definitely believe that it will be worth it, and having this money set aside will definitely help us. Now, if anything happens in this category over here, I will stop saving here to make sure I get back to this 5,000. That is something that just helps me. It's our safety net, so I always want to keep that account there just in case any of these come up, and then I switch back over and start saving for these. Me and my husband are on variable income, meaning that we have a lot of different things going on, and that also means that we will try to move the needle and get additional income into our house so that we could save this much quicker, and it doesn't affect our set budget that we have every single week. The faster we can get to this number, the better, and then the less we have to sacrifice, of course, the better. So this is the overall goal. This is how I've been working my sinking funds for a little bit now, and doing a certain amount per week, a set amount, has helped me out so much more because I am on variable income, and saving for sinking funds when you're on variable income is a little bit more difficult. So I hope this video helped you if you are on variable income, or if you're just struggling with sinking funds like I have in the past. Hopefully this system will help you. So that is it for my sinking funds. I will just pop this page back into my budget planner so that I just have it to look at in case I forget what any of these amounts are for, or why I'm saving this $255 per week. I hope this video has helped you out so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.